Good evening, everyone. This is March 12th, and this is the Raynham Board of Selectmen meeting. And it's almost like spring out there. It's so warm. It's beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful, just beautiful. This is the regular meeting. We had no executive meeting, so we have nothing to report. And remember that this meeting is being recorded live by Raycam. And if you all please rise for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Have we read the minutes?
Motion to accept as printed, Madam Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Janis, you have a report for us this evening.
I do. Good evening.
Good evening.
Activity report for the month of February. Fire incidents, fires, NDAs, investigations, public assistance, 69. Ambulance, medical emergencies, NDAs, public assist, 143. Miscellaneous inspections, fire alarm work, item of note, 71. Mutual aid, fire, ambulance, mutual aid calls, 0 ambulance given, 1 ambulance received, 1 fire given, 0 fire received. Line of duty shifts, 1 man for 144 hours. Sick shifts, 5 men for 288. Incidents, as of 2/28/2019, 445. Last year at the same time was 440, so we're 5 incidents ahead of last year. Firefighter Scott Panati has an appointment with his boss, with Boston Orthopedic on March 18th. Lieutenant Ray, same with him, will be out until the retirement date of March 31st. Any questions?
No
questions?
questions. Thanks, Chief.
Pat, you have
No
a question?
question. Thank you, Chief, as always, and thank you for giving us always a written copy, too. It's very helpful.
Okay. Right.
Appreciate it.
Okay, let's see. Do we have any appointments this evening? I don't think so. Citizen and community input. Anybody have anything? Hearing none, we will go on. We have no public hearings. New business, permanent civil service employees. May I ask what that is all about?
Every year, Madam Chair, we have to certify the list for the police department with the state. It's in our packet, so I would motion to accept as printed.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On the left, you see where your name is?
I'm sorry?
On the left side. Yeah.
Okay, so that just needs signature there.
Yeah.
It's been voted on unanimous. Okay, completion of old business. The discussion of the appointment of an advisory committee.
Yes, Madam Chairman, and I'd like to, as mentioned previously, make a motion that in accordance with Article 45 of the 2003 Annual Town Meeting, we ask the town moderator to go forward in accordance with that article to establish an appointment advisory committee whose purpose will be to review resumes, interview applicants, and make recommendations for the filling of the fire chief. That would be our department head that's before us. I should say no more until it's seconded.
No, that's you. I will second for discussion.
Okay. And I did check with town council, Ted Pednick, and he did review it and obviously stated that it was approved at town meeting and stated that I think he was going to send something to us, but basically that it would strictly be advisory and that the selectmen are certainly the appointing authority and would be under no obligation to accept any, recommendations, strictly advisory.
You seconded
For discussion. No, I would agree, Ms. Riley. I had a chance to talk to town council as well, and that was a fairly similar opinion that he gave me as well, and strictly for discussion purposes moving forward, we'll move forward with that tonight without objection. But I would ask the board to consider perhaps further clarifying that language at a subsequent town meeting. In speaking with moderator Donahue, one of the things he said was the genesis for this was when we were getting 20, 30 applications, and we may get 20 or 30, I don't know, but perhaps we change the language again at a subsequent town meeting to say if you have over X amount of applications, where it's an internal position and where the amount of candidates is most likely going to be limited, it might not always be prudent to go through this step or feasible to get people to volunteer for something like this. And that's not to, again, stop us from doing it this round, but just at least for some consideration for subsequent hiring.
I would consider that. I think my feeling is basically that it's strictly, advisory, and as I mentioned the last time, even if there were only 3 applicants and the screening committee said that, after screening and interviewing, they thought all 3 of the applicants would make, a good choice. I think just opening up that process, getting more people involved, I don't see how it hurts. I think it creates a greater confidence in the public that it's an open and certainly fair process, and that committee, which would include, according to the article, would include appropriate town staff members of relevant boards, committees, and at least one citizen at large, and that certainly could be a citizen who has some expertise in the particular area, might offer some insight that the 3 members of this board may not have. So certainly if you wanted to propose that, it certainly could go to town meeting for consideration, but at this point I'm thinking that I like a screening committee.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying we shouldn't have them. What I'm saying is perhaps, again, especially in the instance where we have an internal position, we may not get the amount, following the stipulations that we have to have for the composition of that, the ability to fill all those positions. And that, I guess, is probably my biggest worry. Not that it shouldn't happen, but that can we fill all these positions? But otherwise.
Okay, thank you.
Well, my feeling is that it is on the books now, and that's something that we haven't been doing, and now that we know we were wrong in not doing it, your point is very well taken, and I think an amendment to that could be presented on the next town meeting, but for now, that is what's on the books, so
Yeah.
I would suggest that we, you already made the motion to accept it, and I will say yes. Okay. Town administrator, do you have a report?
I do, Madam Chair. The ongoing projects, the South School, the basement has been evaluated, and RMC has been in there, and they have started, actually, remediation and repairs at the South School basement. The Town Hall entranceway, I've been told the architect will have diagrammed options, renderings by the end of the week, different choices that we can make or decide upon. Invitation for bids for the Council on Aging project, the vinyl siding, has been published, and the bids should be back by the end of this month, and hopefully construction can start by the beginning of May. Gilmore Hall, the upstairs is being painted this week. Budgets for fiscal year 2020. FinCom has gone through it pretty well. They're still interviewing some department heads, but as far as like the town accountant and treasurer collector, everything's coming together pretty well. Annual town meeting, just a reminder, is set for May 20th. All articles for the warrant are due no later than March 30th. A health inspector has been offered the position and has accepted, and will start the next week of April, the second week of April. We'll bring her in to introduce her to you folks as well. Just a reminder, Historical Commission may need one more member. I spoke with Jeff Kelleher, and he spoke with Mr. Pacheco. They think they have one, but I haven't heard back from them yet. Next Selectmen's meeting will be a week from tonight, March 19th at 7 p.m. Next Sursage meeting is March 20th. Next Southeastern Mass Health Group meeting is March 13th, tomorrow. Next department head meeting will be March 21st at 9:30. And that's about it.
Questions for David?
None, thank you, Dave.
David, on your health inspector, how many applicants did you
We
have?
had 3
You had 3 that,
and we interviewed all 3.
and you've offered the position to one
Yep.
of the 3 that you had.
Mm-hmm.
Anything?
Nope.
Okay, Selectmen's report. Joe, do you have anything?
Just very brief, Madam Chair, I just want to thank Ray for the invitation to participate in Read Across America last week. It was,
Did you have fun with the little kids?
I did, I had a
What
good time.
grade?
First, and that was the
Oh,
youngest
that's
I,
good.
yeah, that was the youngest I've ever had. So it was
I
quite,
usually did kindergarten, because they don't usually talk
well,
back.
Pat used to give me 7th graders.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
they're tough.
Yeah.
6 and up is
Yeah.
tough.
Good balls.
But no, first grade, it was fun. It was very enjoyable. The class was well behaved, and I just again want to thank Pat and Ray for the invitation. They did, yes, yes.
And I understand that Mr. Pacheco gave them quite a lesson on town government and
Oh, good.
what the selectmen do, and I'm sure they now know more than many of their parents know. So, yes, if I just could, it was a great event. We had many special guests visiting every classroom from preschool up through grade 8, and Mr. Flaherty was one of our special guests, Mr. Texera, Mrs. Sullivan, a couple of classes, and of course, again, just want to thank all of the special guests and the Ray volunteers who served as hostesses, and our co-chairs, Becky Mello and Kate Dyer, and of course, our Ray coordinator, Becky George, for a great event.
Bristol Plymouth made a nice cake, too.
Yes, Bristol Plymouth made the cakes. They usually
didn't try it.
do. Yes, then of course for the students, they
usually
can't
very
have
good.
cake because of this food policy. So Eric Delisle in Chartwells prepares cupcake cakes for them that are perfectly healthy. So it was good.
Did you have anything else, Pat, that you wanted to?
No, well, just that the public hearing on the school, Bridgewater Raynham School budget is tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at the high school, and it certainly is going to be very important, so hopefully many people attend that and find out what the scoop is on that.
Thank you. We have a tag day for actually, it's a one-day liquor license that the Lions Club is requesting. Sunday, May 19th, they're having a clam boil from 12 to 6. And Friday, June 7th, their annual golf tournament.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have an application for a transfer of license.
That's for Christopher's.
This one, David.
That is for Christopher's.
Yeah?
They, there's actually
What
two.
license are they
Their liquor license. They are actually requesting alterations on the premises. They have a description of the square footage,
Right?
and that's through the building department. And then they wish to transfer the license to Barrels and Boards Incorporated, David Leghetto, manager. I guess we need to set a hearing date.
You have to set a hearing for it, and also has all the paperwork you have regarding this?
I don't have it, but Debbie does. Yes, I believe it's all in.
Well, please put it all together and make
Yep.
sure that the police department has also been
Absolutely.
notified, so
Yep.
they can do what they have to do.
Motion to set the hearing for March 26th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
March 26th will be the hearing date, as long as all the paperwork is in order at that time. And now we have a change. Oh, this is the same thing? Yep. This is all the same thing, and this is just the liquor. This is the list of employees. And the Sacred Heart Church has gonna have a youth walk, let's see, April 15th and 16th, 11 to 3. And I guess it's a tag day.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a letter here. Okay, this is for the Taunton High School cheering, July 26th to the 28th. And this is, yeah, also for Tag Day. I didn't realize we had
Yeah, I
as
think
many
there's
as we
3.
did. We have 2 more folks, so why don't you just hang in. Myra Hebert, May 31st, June 14th, 21st, and 28th. And this is for what? Myra Hebert.
I believe
Yeah,
she's
personal.
I think she's the skater.
Oh, is she the outdoor skate? I didn't know that, but anyway, hold on for a second, because there's another one. Faith Mysteries House of Hope from New Bedford, Monday, the 11th of March, 12th of March, the 13th of March, and the 14th of March. And then it goes, let's see, the 18th, the 19th. Where do they want to tag anyway, do you know?
Not sure.
You got every date to the 29th of March.
Motion to approve them all.
That's it, yeah.
Second, and just for clarification too, I think for the public's benefit as well, there is a form that whoever applies, they have to verify that they're a nonprofit and so forth?
Mhm.
Okay, great.
And Deb has a calendar in her office that she records everything on, so we make sure that we don't duplicate it.
Right.
Years ago, people would just come in randomly and do it, and then we set
Yeah.
a month to try to get everybody in at the same time to do anything to do with that. Okay. Raynham Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, March 20th to consider a petition for Richard R. Carlson and Norma Jean Carey, trustee, for a variance on the zoning bylaw to a larger garage on 13 feet 6-inch setback instead of 20 feet setback as required, and the property is on Elm Street East. This is just for anybody's information, should they want to go to the hearing. It will be on March 20th, right here at the Town Hall. Mass DOT. We are pleased to inform you that Chapter 90 local transportation aid funding for fiscal year 2020 will total $200 million statewide, pending final legislative approval. And this is to just thank us for all we do to make the Commonwealth of Massachusetts a great place to live, work, and raise a family. And we all do share in that, don't we? Okay. Okay, things are all over. We have no press here this evening, or anything for the press. Do we have any emergency business of any kind?
None, Madam Chair.
No.
I'll accept a motion.
Motion to adjourn, sign the bills, no business thereafter.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for coming.
Have a nice night.
Appreciate it.